Opening week in Major League Baseball presented by TD Ameritrade. Back here at Progressive Field for our first night game of the season. It's cloudy, it's cool, but it's dry as the Indians take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. The Indians come in with a record of 2-3. Offensively, they have been a very slow starting club to this point. They are dead last in the majors in team batting average. But Carlos Santana is definitely carrying his fair share of the load. He has 8 hits. The rest of the team, not so much.
Well, Carlos has been off to a very good start. It's not like he's driving the ball or hitting for power, but what he is doing is using the whole field. He's hitting the ball where it's pitched. He's finding the holes right now. 8 for 17, 5 RBIs. He's right up there in the league in batting average. Nice to see for a guy that normally starts out slow in the month of April and May. It's only 5 games, but still, it's nice to see Carlos swinging the bat well.
Santana and Hanley Ramirez, who's not in the lineup tonight, have combined for 12 hits. The rest of the Indians have a total of just 13 knocks. So hopefully they get the bats heated up tonight. But that will be tough because Aaron Sanchez is on the hill for Toronto and Trevor Bauer's on the hill for Cleveland. Neither one of these guys has given up many runs so far.
Well, Trevor Bauer in his first start against Minnesota, he broke out that new pitch he was working on all winter long, the changeup, and he was not afraid to throw it in that start. Allowed just 1 hit in the 7 innings, but he did throw that changeup. Not only to the left-handers, he would throw it to the right-handers as well. Last season, he put in the slider. This year, it was a changeup, and when you look at that slider-changeup mix, look at that. Almost 50 pitches were the off-speed pitches right there. He lived with that changeup in the slider, mixed in his fastball, but he started very well. So he has, like to see him throw another game like he did in his last start.
Conditions are pretty raw. Yeah. Might be the same game plan here tonight for Trevor Bauer. We'll be back with tonight's first pitch. Alan Jensen are up next with the showstopper, and we'll check in with Andre Knott, who has an update on Jason Kipnis straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers, made in Ohio, Ohio proud. And by Spectrum Mobile. Spectrum Mobile has unlimited talk, text, and data. Save up to 40%. Go to SpectrumMobile.com today.
Driving Blue Jays tonight, opening up a 4-game series here in Cleveland on a cold early April night. The Indians hoping to start off this 4-game set with a win behind Trevor Bauer. Sanchez on the mound for Toronto. Welcome back to center field. He's Jensen Lewis. I'm Al Pulowski. It is time now for our showstopper, and that belongs to the Washington Nationals, ruining the Mets home opener today. Victor Robles going yard for the second time this year. Steven Strasburg looked great on the hill.
That is the only hit that Noah Syndergaard allowed for the Mets. But
unbelievable.
Certainly a doozy. And Steven Strasburg, 6 2/3, 9 punchies, only 1 walk. Washington badly needed to get off to a good start on this road trip because we know what the Philadelphia Phillies did to them. We know where they are in the standings early on. You lose Trey Turner for some significant time. So the Nats, that's a nice way to get a big win in the home opener of a division rival.
Tonight, the Blue Jays and Indians. Let's send it upstairs to the gentleman calling the game. Matt and Rick, fellas.
I mean, isn't it crazy, guys? I mean, if you take away Seattle and Oakland, who played the series over in Japan, 7 games, 6-7 games, the most anybody's played. Not one team undefeated yet.
Incredible.
I mean, everybody's gone down at least once now. So what a season we could be in for this year. The Indians try to get some momentum going. 2-3 on the year. They take on Toronto. They come in at 3-4. Walked into the clubhouse today, saw a familiar face. Always good to see Jason Kipnis as he's on the mend, getting ready to work his way back to the big league club. And let's go down to Andre Knott for more on that.
Well, you know, you bring up the month of April and how every start of every season is a little different. For Jason Kipnis, who had his 31st birthday yesterday, April's haven't gone the best for him swinging the bat. He's dealt with an injury to his calf, an injury that seems to be going around the league. Today, as you can see right there, he was able to go through some batting practice, take some balls in the infield, and tomorrow he'll head out to Columbus to play. He's excited to get back on the field and try to get back here to help the team.
Not sure if there's like an exact number. I've been getting some at bats out in Arizona already, so I think they have a plan in place. We'll go. I mean, if we need more or less, we'll add or subtract from there and see how everything goes. But I think it's a good one, and I think hopefully we'll join the team on the road at some point.
So if you think about it, you go through the weekend, he'll be in Columbus. Team takes off on Monday, starts Tuesday in Detroit. I'm going to go with the good guess of maybe we see him when the team gets to Kansas City, a place that he's had some success in his career. That would be huge for the offense. Other injuries they'll talk about, Bradley Zimmer dealing with an abdominal strain. He's still not doing baseball activity. Tyler Clippard did throw a bullpen yesterday. He's starting to ramp up and get a little bit better. Danny Salazar's throwing 2 bullpens a week. That just tells you about some of the injured players for the Indians, guys.
Andre, how are you feeling?
I feel all right. You know, I feel a little bit older than yesterday, but I think I can make it.
At age 41, man, you're catching up. You're
happy
catching up.
birthday, my friend.
Thank you. I love both of you.
Yeah.
Leave me alone now.
We'll send you down a slice of cake later. Well, the Indians, you see Francisco Lindor in the dugout trying to encourage his teammates. Trevor Bauer and company take the field. And the Indians go to work against the Blue Jays ball club that is a really new-looking team, not just from a year ago, but going back just to a couple of years ago. It's almost completely overhauled.
Yeah, when you think about it, and we'll get into it at some point in time tonight, but you're right. The faces that were there are no longer, and they're going with a lot of new faces and young kids, I'm sure, soon to be out. And there's Trevor Bauer. Trevor's going to be our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. No sleeves tonight. He feels good. He started in Minnesota. He went 7 innings. He pitched a whale of a ball game. Allowed only 1 hit and 1 run. So he walked 1, struck out 9. He'll be facing the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. He did not pitch against them last year. And in his career, he's 2-2 in 5 starts. This will be start number 6 against Toronto. And we'll see if he can get the Indians off to a good start in this 4-game series.
All right, so let's take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays starting lineup tonight. Brandon Drury is the leadoff man. Socrates Brito will bat second. Randall Grichuk hitting third. Rowdy Tellez, the DH, bats cleanup. Danny Jansen is the catcher. Billy McKinney is in left. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. batting 7th. Freddie Galvis bats 8th. And Alan Hansen is the second baseman, and he will bat 9th.
And the defense playing behind Trevor Bauer tonight looks like this. It is brought to you by Conrad's. Greg Allen in left, Leonis Martin in center, Tyler Naquin in right. On the infield, Jose Ramirez at third, Eric Stamets at short, Brad Miller at second, Carlos Santana at first, and Roberto Perez behind the dish, as always, when Trevor's on the mound.
The umpires, Manny Gonzalez will call the balls and strikes. Sam Holbrook at first, Dan Isanya at second, Jim Wolf down at third. Mark Budzinski, former Indians coach, you see shaking hands with the first base umpire. He is the first base coach tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays, and former Indian Louis Rivera is also a member of the staff. He's over at third base. Trevor Bauer is ready to go. Bauer into the line, and tonight's first pitch is a fastball, bottom of the zone for strike 1. Our official game time temperature tonight, 42 degrees with winds out of the north at 14 miles an hour.
That means it's blowing in here, so
right back our way and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes.
You'd think that wind would be knocking it down, blowing in from right field. It's usually a cooler wind when it comes from that direction.
Bauer's 0-2 offering. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball. Bauer with his 10th strikeout on the year. Tonight's storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Trevor Bauer was magnificent with the fastball changeup combination in Minnesota. Blue Jay starters, not too shabby.
Yeah,
the first 4 starters did not allow a run.
Yeah, they were on some kind of roll. They have 80 strikeouts as a team, which is unbelievable after 7 games. Not just the starters, their staff. Their starters were off to a great start.
This is 26-year-old Socrates Brito. And he just came over yesterday from the San Diego Padres.
unusual to see a team making as many moves as the Blue Jays have made first week of the season.
Yeah, that is rare. Brito's probably saying, hey, I was sort of liking the weather in San Diego. Why are you sending me over here? But at least in Toronto, you get to play indoors.
Ground ball to first. Santana has that. He'll take it himself. 2 down. Well, Rick, not only is Brito a recent addition, but the guy batting ninth, Alan Hansen, he came over yesterday in Kevin Pillar trade from San Francisco.
Right. Pillar went over there. They're a longtime center fielder, and he was a little upset because, you know, he was so used to it, and that was his only organization.
I got to imagine it has to be strange if you're, say, Randall Grichuk. You're on this team. You're thinking these are the guys you're going to play with all year, and then a couple days into the season, they're making trades.
Yeah, and Grichuk, he just signed a new 5-year deal with him for what, 52 or something like that. But you know, he came right out the next day after signing that contract, hit a couple of home runs in that ball game, and was feeling really good about himself. But you know, you look at the other faces. The only other one you may recognize is Justin Smoak. And other than that, it's a whole new cast of characters.
And Smoak was in the original starting lineup, but then was a late scratch. Did not hear why. Curveball and a good one in for a strike.
Well, it was funny. In his last start against Minnesota, I think he only threw 2 curveballs. He lived with that, you know, almost 50 pitches out of his 108 came with the changeup and the slider. But this is a combination with Trevor Bauer, and then you have Roberto Perez behind the plate. They work very well together. Because Roberto, he's been catching Trevor for the last few years now. That was sometimes the only time he would start out of the other 4 starters, and did a heck of a job. Mentally, they are on the same page.
Trevor Bauer, the line in the 2-2, and a ground ball towards third. Jose Ramirez throws him out. The Blue Jays go 1-2-3, and the Indians are coming to bat.
Well, Aaron Sanchez is going to be the starter for Toronto. He's working quickly. He wants to get out there and get working. He's the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. He made 1 start, pitched 5 innings, got the win, 3 hits. He walked 3, struck out 6. And this guy has a power sinker. His changeup is back, and his curveball is good.
Indian starting lineup for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Leonis Martin leading it off. Jose Ramirez bats second. Jake Bowers is third. Santana, Miller, Allen in the middle. Roberto Perez, Tyler Naquin, and Eric Stamets round it out. Aaron Sanchez winds it up. And a fastball up and away. Martin 2 for 16 to start the year. And a guy like Sanchez, you might look for Martin to try to slap it the other way. Instead, he lifts one straight in the air to center field. Grichuk. He'll make the catch, 1 down.
Let's check out that Jays defense behind Sanchez tonight. In the outfield, McKinney's in left, Grichuk is in center, Brito over in right. It'll be Drury at third, Galvis is at shortstop, Hansen at second, Gurriel Jr. is at first, and Jansen doing the catching. Sanchez has had issues the last few years. You know, they called it blisters every time he'd go out and pitch and he'd go on the DL. He was only 4-6 last year. He started 20 games, but always had issues. He had some surgery done to take care of the issues and the problems that he had, and he's back to throwing the ball like he did in 2016.
Jose Ramirez sends a fly ball to center field. Again, Randall Grichuk makes the catch, and there are 2 away.
Yeah, not a good day for fly balls to the big part of the ballpark because it will get knocked down. And normally I was expecting to see a lot of ground balls from Sanchez, but it's still early.
Maybe that's a good sign if you're the Indians then.
Right. Because, you know, he has that curveball and good changeup, and he was getting like 60% ground balls on his changeup last year, and it's supposed to be better this year, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Jake Bowers, 2 for 12 to start the campaign, steps in, serving as the DH tonight. And a fastball in there for strike 1. Up high with the heater. And the count quickly 0-2.
You could come back with that same pitch. Boy, it was an elevated fastball about 95 above the belt. That's tough to catch up to. Followed up with a hook.
Tom Moshenik tells us that in the first start of the year for Sanchez, he only had 4 ground ball outs. But he's got a good fastball here at the outset. Off-speed pitch strikes him out. Indians go 1-2-3 on 8 pitches to start. No score after 1. Now here's the AARP take on today. Rowdy Tellez has played 4 games against the Indians, or at least last year, 4 games against the Tribe. 7 out of 17, 5 doubles, and a home run.
That was Andre's guy last year. He made his debut against the Indians, came up and, well, I don't think it was against the Indians, but I'll tell you, he continued to pound the baseball. Everything in sight seemed like it was a double.
Looked like a folk hero in the making, didn't he?
It was.
Rowdy goes 6'4", 255. 24 years old, out of California. Went to Elk Grove High School. I believe that's in Northern California. Rowdy was a 30th round pick 6 years ago. Those are the stories you love, I think. As we've said before, baseball is such a roll of the dice where the draft is concerned. Some guys' first-round picks, as we talked about yesterday, for whatever reason, don't really pan out. Then you get a guy, 30th round selection. Nobody probably figured there was much there. And yet, there he is in the big leagues, batting in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah, hard to figure out at times. Well, Indians baseball is always live with MLB At Bat. You can follow the action with Game Day, watch video highlights, and track stats, standings, and breaking news. Download MLB At Bat today. It's your #1 app.
Catcher Danny Jansen.
Trevor, four hitters faced. He's got 4 0-2, 1-2 counts. So he's been ahead of every hitter.
23-year-old Danny Jansen. Kind of got an audition at the end of last year over the final 6 weeks of the season. In 2017, 2 years ago, he batted .323 over 3 levels of minor league baseball. And last year, a strong effort at AAA got him the opportunity to play in the big leagues, and they like his offense. Defensively, still some work to do, and that's sort of in contrast to what most teams look for when it comes to the catching position.
Yeah. Well, we saw that I think with Chicago, with the White Sox here. No, I'm sorry, Minnesota. They carried 3 catchers. A couple of them could swing the bat, but they have some work to do defensively.
Yeah, so far in his career in the minor leagues, base stealers were successful 67% of the time against him.
Well, and again, another strikeout for Trevor. That's #2.
High fastball.
Yeah, elevated, sure is. You know, you talk about throwing out runners. The pitchers have to hold on to hold the runners close. Look at the high fastball here by Bauer on our Nissan pitch tracker right there, top of the zone. Tough to get on top of that pitch, and even if you do, you're going to pop it up. So a good pitch, he gets a strikeout.
Now here is Billy McKinney. 2 for 18 to start the year. And Bauer misses up high with a fastball. Again, misses high with the heater, and the count 2-0. Misses in the same spot, everything upstairs with the fastball here. Pretty straight. See if he can come back and get McKinney.
He looked like he would just, it was a 3-0 count, and I thought it was strike 3. I thought you said it was 3-0.
I was kind of looking at Manning going, does he know something? Even the Blue Jays bench, they're giving him grief. There's ball 4.
Okay, now it's a 3-0 pitch. Now Manny Gonzalez is out there. He was just happy to see a strike. There you go. Oh, yeah, that's the song. Ring him up. Right there. Beautiful. That is beautiful.
And then he's looking at his clicker going, what the heck? Oh, that's only strike 1.
That's a good call.
This thing's defective. 2-out walk brings up Lourdes Gurriel. And a bouncing ball right side, going to be a tough play for Miller. He flags it down. Off balance throw is in time. Nicely done by the Indians' second baseman. No runs, no hits, 1 left. No score, middle of the second. Bottom of the second inning, Carlos Santana will lead off for Cleveland. Santana began the day with the best batting average in the American League at .471.
Sanchez getting it up there. And this is the normal shift that most teams play with Santana, you know, with the second baseman in short right field, the shortstop over there. And he's been able to beat that shift a couple of times already this year in Minnesota, and did it against the White Sox as well.
That fastball up and in just to keep him honest.
Yeah, good pitch. Move him out of that toe hold.
Francisco Lindor continuing his progress. Fouled on the right side. He's dealt with a calf injury that is now behind him. Now it's just a matter of working through the ankle and the high ankle sprain that he suffered. But all reports seem to be very positive. It's just a matter of taking it day by day.
They need that guy back. I know there's patience and you got to wait, but this offense certainly needs him in the lineup.
Santana down on strikes. 1 away. Here's our stats with Lowe's. Aaron Sanchez back in 2016 went 15-2.
Yeah.
Since then, in 29 starts, an ERA of 4.5. Now, as Rick alluded to, over the last 2 seasons, he's been limited to 141 innings because of blister issues 2 years ago. And then last year he got his right index finger caught in a falling suitcase. Now, you know, we can all kind of giggle about that and like, oh, geez. But he ended up having to have surgery on that right finger last September.
He did, and that's what straightened out. He could not straighten his finger out to throw the baseball. And now that he had the surgery, he can grip the ball again, and he had a good curveball, which we will see, and that affects his changeup as well.
Downstairs. I mean, baseball's filled with kind of bizarre injuries.
Yes, they are.
Our buddy Brian Anderson had a few of them in his day.
We won't go there.
That 2-1. Remember when Steve Sparks tried to rip a phone book in half and screwed up his shoulder?
I don't remember that.
Sammy Sosa had, I don't know if he blew out an oblique trying to hold back a sneeze. There's all kinds of crazy injuries over the years.
I remember somebody now that just went to the Dodgers was boiling crawfish, Joe Kelly. And he had to go on the DL because he was on his feet for 6 hours.
Didn't Marty Cordova get into a tanning bed and have an issue?
Well, we've all done that at one point.
Stayed in there a little too long, I think.
Speak for yourself up there, Lizard.
He used to own his own tanning bed.
Did he really?
Yeah, I used to have one in the basement.
There's the wind and the 3-2 pitch. And a pop to center. And Randall Grichuk, his third put out here tonight. Well, Andre, what are the guys looking for against Sanchez tonight?
Well, a little bit like you deal with knuckleballers. They've basically been told if the ball is low, leave it alone. Make him get the ball up in the strike zone. But, you know, even Tyler Naquin said, he saw him a couple years ago. He goes, in his first start, it didn't look like he used that changeup the way that they were used to seeing it. He says, but when it's working, look out. So make him get the ball up was the game plan early on versus Sanchez.
Yeah, he can leverage that ball down, and that's why when in that 16 season, he was a ground ball master. But he can elevate the ball and throw it past you upstairs. And then we have witnessed a couple of curveballs that are pretty good so far tonight.
Ground ball to third. Drury with a low throw and a really nice backhanded pick by Lourdes Gurriel. The Indians go in order, and we are scoreless through 2 in Cleveland.
Indian season ticket plans feature big savings on box office prices, postseason priority, exclusive access to a private autograph party, and select plans guarantee access to this summer's All-Star game. Visit Indians.com season tickets, or you can call 216-420-HITS for the details.
Trevor Bauer goes to work here in the third against Freddie Galvis, the number 8 hitter for Toronto. Galvis off to a good start for the Jays. He has 6 hits in 21 at bats, a homer, 3 runs batted in, including a double. Down in the dirt. Now the 2-0. And that ball smoke foul down the right side.
Yeah, again, this is one of those nights, Matt, when you're a defender out there behind your pitcher, you want them throwing strikes. You want the guys to swing the bats so you're ready. You don't want to stand around. You'll see a lot of hands in the back pockets to keep them warm.
Just blew it right by him at 94. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Four ground ball outs for Trevor Bauer here, first time through the order. It's got to be nice for those defenders, because Bauer's a guy that when he's on, he can punch him out, and you may not get a lot of work out there.
Well, that's true. He swings and misses. He tried to get that changeup swing after the high fastball, but he ends up walking his second today. Walked one last inning.
So Galvis aboard to lead off the third, and Alan Hansen coming to the plate. Hansen just came over, as you see there, from the Giants a couple of days ago. And that ball's down the line, foul. Hansen's out of the Dominican Republic. He's 26 years old, a switch hitter. Hansen was originally signed by the Pirates back in '09. And that was no coincidence, because his dad had been a Pirates pitcher in the minor leagues, but never made it out of A-ball. Hansen made his debut with Pittsburgh in '16. Played 69 games with the White Sox in '17, and last year with the Giants.
Okay, that's where we saw it, was with the White Sox.
In off the plate with a fastball, 1-2.
That's just to move him back after he threw a good curveball down and away. Got to respect the fastball. He just missed with it inside, but it's a purpose pitch.
Just did get a piece of that to stay alive.
And that's usually when you're a base runner against Trevor Bauer and you see him go in there in that situation. He missed with the fastball. If you're a base stealer, pretty good chance the next pitch is going to be something off speed. So that's the time you want to run on him. But now this time he's going to throw over. And that's coming. Mark Budzinski, who's their first base coach, he used to be with the Indians last year. So he knows the sequences. He knows tendencies. So I'm sure he's right in the ear.
The Blue Jays so far have attempted 1 stolen base, and Lourdes Gurriel was thrown out. Let's see if Budzinski has his man on the move here. Runner not going, and a pitch hit him. So now you've got 2 on with nobody out, and back to the top of the order.
Yeah, after having him down 0-2, that's not what you wanted to do. You're looking at the 8th and 9th hitters. You walk number 8, and this slider gets the front foot of Hansen. So they will have first and second now, nobody out.
And an opportunity for Brandon Drury, who struck out his first time up. The outfield is around toward right. Look at Greg Allen. He is way off the line and left. So they're figuring Drury's going to try to go up the middle with this pitch, or try to slap it the other way. Bauer's 1-0 pitch. Good breaking ball in there for a strike. Now the 1-1. Swung out and missed. He was out in front of it.
Yeah, another slider there. Breaking ball.
Just a bit outside, tried to tease him. Drury wouldn't go after it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of breaking stuff in this at bat. He's not giving in and giving him the fastball. He was teasing him there and trying to get the swing and miss. Keep the runners at first and second.
Two offering. And a little high, full count. The Blue Jays right now, after 7 games, have batted .314 as a team with runners in scoring position. Two offering, and that's ball 4. How do you like that? 2 walks and a hit batter, and the Blue Jays have loaded the bases with nobody out.
Well, and the bad thing about it, he was ahead of those guys as well. Maybe not Galvis, but Hansen, he had him down 0-2. He was ahead of Drury and ends up losing them both. So he has set the table here in the 3rd inning for Toronto to get on the board. Now it's a matter of minimizing the damage.
Socrates Brito grounded out his first time up. Pulls this foul. Swung on and missed. Good off-speed pitch. It's 0-2.
Well, another hitter he has down, so it's been both curveballs in this at-bat to get ahead. Does he stay with it?
The 0-2 offering is swung on and missed. He struck him out, 1 away. 3rd strikeout for Bauer, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, he played on the aggressiveness of Brito. He's going to see nothing but curveballs in this at bat, and each one gets lower and lower in the zone. That one bounced right almost on the plate, and when you throw that one, that's what you try to do. When you have him down with 2 strikes, bounce it right on the plate. And that one hit a little bit out in front, but he still got the swing and miss, and that's out number 1. A ground ball can get you out of the inning now.
Bauer passing Addy Joss on the Indians' all-time strikeout list. Pitches outside, ball 1. Randall Grichuk grounded out his only time up. Swung on and missed. Bauer starting to feel it now. 1-1.
Well, he got himself in the hot water. He's trying to get himself right back out of it.
Half swing, fouled on the right side.
That one was elevated a little bit, and it seemed like Grichuk, he started for it and then tried to hold up. And that's why he didn't really go all the way. He might have thought it was going to be a ball.
And the 1-2 on its way. And he struck him out. 2 down. Back-to-back Ks for Bauer. Give him 4 on the night.
Well, he's awfully close. I mean, you're going to see a steady diet. Look at all the breaking stuff, and he's stayed with that the last 2 hitters. He got himself into trouble, but that curveball is bailing him out. And it's amazing because, as we mentioned, only 2 curveballs in his last start in Minnesota, and here it is, a steady diet of them now with the bases loaded, nobody out, has a chance to get him out of it.
Rowdy Tellez grounded out his only time up. Another curveball, and that's a beauty in there for a strike.
You know, and that's a field pitch for him. That's a good pitch for him. And he had a good changeup his last time, but he was locating it. So today maybe he feels that's the pitch that he's got a good feel for right now is the breaking ball. The curveball.
Swung on and missed as Tellez chased one down at his feet.
And they're helping him out. I mean, the hitters are actually helping Trevor out.
He is doing what we have seen happen so many times. Bases loaded, hitters want to hit. They want to drive in runs. He's taking advantage of their aggressiveness.
Yes, he is. You're taking yes, the aggressiveness. They're young hitters. They don't want to be patient. The pressure's on the pitcher, but they want to get the runs in. He's got 9 pitches in the dirt already.
He's not afraid to bounce him in there with Roberto Perez behind the plate.
That's true. One of the best at blocking him. And look at Galvis coming down the line at third. He's 30% of the way there.
Time was called by Rowdy Tellez.
Well, that's tough to give it to him. That guy at third base is sort of, you see, he goes as far down the line as where Ramirez is off the bag. And I'll tell you what, that's a late time. You can't give it to him. That was a good pitch, too. You don't have to give the hitter time once that pitcher's in his stretch.
Now the 0-2. He hit it off his foot.
You know, I'm sort of wondering maybe he called time because Galvis, the pitch before, you see how far down the line he was. He may have been bothering him there in the batter's box as you can see him when you're open from a left-handed hitter.
Galvis was coming down the line because Ramirez was so far off the bag. He felt like, well, I can do this. But now Ramirez is playing a little closer to third base. Tellez pulls that foul.
Continues to throw strikes after he walked the leadoff man Galvis. He hit Hansen after he was ahead of him, ended up walking Drury, and then has been pounding the strike zone, and they've been helping him, but he struck out 2. He's thrown 11 pitches. 10 of them have been strikes.
But overall, it's been a long inning.
Yeah, and his pitch count is up there.
Bases loaded, 2 down. And the 0-2 pitch to Tellez. Ripped. Fouled on the right side.
Yeah, as a hitter, you would think if you see so many of those in a row, you've got to make an adjustment. Well, he stayed back on that one and just used his hands, and look how close it is. That would have been over the head of Santana, but it is foul.
This will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Bauer as he tries to grind his way through it. Bases loaded, 2 down. 0-2 pitch is up high with a fastball that was a good foot out of the zone.
Yeah, he had to rear back, but it's been curveball after curveball after curveball, so he figured I got to take him off that one. That last time he lined it foul. And you can see it's a 30-pitch inning right now.
And the 1-2 to center. Martin puts it away, and Bauer gets out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam in the 3rd.
Tribe 6-packs start at $99. It features some of the best promotions of the season. Dollar Dog Nights, fireworks, and select promo items. Choose from our weekday or weekend packages. Visit Indians.com for all the options.
To the bottom of the third we go, and Roberto Perez to lead it off for Cleveland. Tyler Naquin due up second. Eric Stamets will bat third. Aaron Sanchez delivers a fastball in for a strike. Broken bat bouncer slowly hit to short. Galvis buggy whips it to first, one down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk for the Blue Jays. Look at all those pitchers. Clay Buchholz, Clayton Richard, David Phelps, Ryan Tepera.
Well, Buchholz has always been on the DL no matter where he's been. Devin Travis for the last few years as well. But you'll see most of the pitchers are out there.
Charlie Montoyo getting his first opportunity as a big league manager. Shelley Duncan, you see Shelley Duncan off to his right. He is their field coordinator. Louis Rivera, all kind of Indians ties. Not to mention Mark Budzinski, who we showed you earlier. Charlie Montoyo, though, good story. 53 years old, Puerto Rico native. Getting his opportunity to manage in the big leagues. Montoyo knows a thing or two about riding buses. He played over 1,000 games in his minor league career. Only 4 big league games.
Wow.
Did he get a chance to play?
You talk about paying your dues.
Yeah. Naquin punches it up the middle. It's cut off. Backhanded by Hanson, but he can't come up with it cleanly. And Naquin is aboard with a 1-out infield single.
He went down and hit that ball off the ground. And Hanson had to come up with it cleanly and throw it in a hurry, but never does. So it's going to go as a base hit for Tyler Naquin, first hit of the ball game.
Eric Stamets follows it back. You know, I mentioned about Montoyo in his playing career, over 1,000 games in the minors, only 4 games that he get to the big leagues. Then he begins his career as a coach, right? He starts in 1997 in the Appalachian League with Princeton. He doesn't get his first big league coaching job until 2015 as a third base coach in Tampa Bay. Wow. So he spent all those years managing in the minor leagues. So yeah, if anybody's earned or deserved an opportunity, it might be Charlie Montoyo.
I think you could call him a baseball lifer.
Yeah.
But that's what you call paying your dues and finally getting rewarded and getting a big league manager's job. Good for him.
1 on 1 out, Eric Stamets the batter.
Has to be a patient guy, and I'm sure deals with people very well.
But also, as Stamets goes down swinging, and you know this all too well, a guy who has to love the game.
Yeah.
You don't stick around that many years in the minors,
right,
bussing from town to town.
You got to have a family that totally understands and is devoted to your craft. And yeah, that's good to hear. That's the way the game used to be like that. You know, guys that spent a lot of time in the minors, rewarded because of the time and the dedication that you had.
Right now, Leonis Martin, the batter, with 1 on 1 out, or 2 out, excuse me. Indians' first hit of the game coming off the bat of Tyler Naquin here in this third inning. Martin up the middle. That's going to get through into center field. Naquin's going to hit second base and hold right there. Grichuk got to it in a hurry.
Yeah, he did a good job. That's what you do as an outfielder. If you charge the ball like Grichuk did, you're going to stop most runners from going on you. And it was up the middle and found the hole, but he came in a hurry, and he forced him to stop. Watch him from his position. He sees it. Now watch him come in hard. All right, I've got it. You can't take a chance. You can't make that third out at third base when you're in scoring position as a base runner.
So an opportunity, you know, in a golden one. Opportunities that have been few and far between for the Tribe so far, but you've got Jose Ramirez in an RBI situation now. Seems like a lot of his at-bats so far this year have been nobody on base.
I'm sure most of them have been that way.
That's the first pitch ball in 10 at bats. He had thrown 9 straight first pitch strikes.
Now this is what you have to keep your eye on for this year in situations like this with 2 outs. I know there is an open base, it's third, but do you want to get in and go to Jose Ramirez, or you look on deck and you see the young hitter Bowers?
Oh, he got a piece of that with his glove, and that will end the inning. Galvis took it to the bag for the inning-ending force, and the Indians strand a pair. No score through 3. Back here at Chile Progressive Field, our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick. Last year, only Blake Snell in the American League had a lower ERA at home than Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, 184. That's pitching very well in your own ballpark.
Danny Jansen leads off for Toronto and takes a strike.
Trevor could use one of those innings now where you have about a 7-pitch inning where they can put the ball in play after last inning. Like that.
Eric Stamets gets a great bounce and throws him out. 1 down. Here's our Spectrum mobile replay, and this is where Bauer kind of got himself in a little trouble. Walked a batter, hit a batter, walked another. Now they're loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, he could only blame himself. But what's he do? He comes and fights his way, goes to his curveball, and gets out of this thing. He knew it. Good job. He got into it, but he also got out of it.
And now Billy McKinney, who walked his first time up. Boy, there's probably nothing that shows you the maturation of a starting pitcher more than how they deal with jams like that. Because usually a young pitcher, you get into, and the first thing they think of is, I got to throw harder to get out of trouble.
Yeah. Yes.
And then they get themselves into an even bigger mess.
Yes.
But when you get some years
off
under your belt, you start to realize, as we said, take advantage of the hitter. He's trying to hit the ball 10 miles. You go a little softer, a little slower.
It takes a while to learn that, and you got to trust your stuff, and you got to be like, how many guys would throw like 8 straight curveballs?
Yeah.
But and never give in. And you remember Kevin Millwood back in 2005. He was one of those guys that says, hey man, you got to slow it down.
Yeah.
You know, you got to back off and minimize damage. What's this, a 6-pitch inning?
6 pitches.
Bingo.
Trevor Bauer, just what Archie ordered up for him. Well, let's take a look at our great clip of the game from yesterday. Hanley Ramirez got into one late and smoked it to center field. He has both of the Indians' home runs on the year.
Yeah, that was a line drive straight over to center field, right over the 400-foot sign. And although the game was out of control by then, it's he has 2 homers.
Aaron Sanchez down and in. And Bauer swings over the top. Smokes that one right back up the gut. 3rd hit of the game now for the Indians, and Bowers is aboard to start the home half of the 4th. Time now for a Ganley Subaru game break with Big Al.
All right, Matt, Rick, Oakland and Boston. Boy, the Red Sox struggling They lose again today. Stephen Piscotty, the hero in Oakland. Wow. He was 4 for 4 with 5 runs batted in, including this 3-run homer. 7-3 is the final score. The Red Sox guys 2-6 to start the year. That's a bit of a surprise.
And what was it? Mookie Betts? Somebody bailed them out late last night, or they may have lost again.
Right. They could very easily be 1-7.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Al.
Yep.
There's Carlos Santana, struck out his first time up. Let's see if he has any kind of a adjustment against Sanchez second time around. Blue Jays have that 3-man shift on the right side with Bowers aboard. Down in the dirt. Santana, a smash up the gut. It ate up Galvis. Bowers hits second and scampers back to the bag. He made a wide turn, was thinking about going to third, but once again, Grichuk gets to it in a hurry, and they're not willing to test him.
Well, and he had to wait, too. He wasn't going to get a jump there because it did go off the glove, didn't it, Galvis? Yeah. So you have to be careful. You didn't know if he was going to catch that ball in the air, so he wasn't going to get there regardless. So just stay on second base. A lot of times that guy will sneak in behind you and get to second base, and outfielder would throw it right to the bag.
Well, a good start to the inning. Back-to-back singles, 2 on, nobody out. Brad Miller to the plate. Drury really hugging the line at third. Now steps off a couple strides toward the hole. Miller takes again down low.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's going to his off-speed pitch to slow it down a little bit with base runners, but he's missed, with strikes. So the patience right there, not getting too aggressive, gets you in a good hitter's count. Now you think you could look fastball.
2-0 pitch is high, 3-0. It was borderline. But Miller doing a good job of being patient.
And that's it. That's what you don't have to swing at a 2-0 pitch if it's not in your favor. It may have been a close pitch, but it's not a hitter's pitch. It's a pitcher's pitch. And that's my point with a hitter. Okay, it's a if it was a strike, it's still 2-1, and you're still ahead in the count. Surprised he didn't ring him up there. 3-0 count.
Build 1,000 bridges. 2 on, nobody out. 3-1 count on Brad Miller. And that's ball 4. So how do you like that?
Didn't have to swing the bat and you take your walk. That's
now the
good.
Indians have the same opportunity the Blue Jays had in the 3rd inning. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Greg Allen coming to the plate. Hey, Arch, while we have a minute, we want to send out a big get well soon wish to our buddy Vince Vardarella. Vince works down outside the clubhouse, one of the attendants, and I mean, he's a bright smiling face every day. Look forward to seeing him. He's at home. Vince, we're thinking about you, and can't wait to see you back down here at the ballpark when you're all healed up.
Yeah, get well soon, Vince. We certainly are.
And that not just from me and Archie, but I mean that's from everybody that we've run into. So we know you're watching. He doesn't just work here. He's a big fan as well. So here's Greg Allen now, trying to get the Indians on the board first in this 4th inning. They about hit the Jays 4-0. Chopped to first, and Nothing was called. They'll get the force at second, and the Indians get the first run of the game. It looked like there was some contact between Gurriel and the runner, Brad Miller.
Well, he was going for the ball, and he has the right to catch it, but Miller didn't leave the baseline. Gurriel on the backhanded side, I don't know if he was going to come home with it or not. See, he hesitated, but he has the right. He didn't interfere with him. I think Gurriel tried to get it, backhand it, tag him, and then maybe come home, but he didn't catch the ball.
As long as Miller didn't interfere with him, then you could get runner's interference, and that's probably what Charlie Montoyo is going to go out and ask him about.
Well, he's going to say that he didn't veer into the way to knock him over. I think Gurriel tried to backhand it and tag him all in one motion. I don't think he veered in toward him. At least it didn't look like that. And look,
I think he was actually by him before even contact was made. So first and third, one out. Indians lead it 1-0. Give Greg Allen his third run batted in on the year. And now Roberto Perez. Up high, ball one.
Well, they have to keep an eye on Greg Allen because he is a base stealer.
There's a high fly ball. Left center field. Grichuk back to center fielder. Makes the catch just shy of the track. Tagging and coming home to score is Carlos Santana. And it's 2-0 Cleveland as Roberto Perez has his second RBI on the year.
Yeah, this one coming on a sac fly, his last one coming on a walk. Allen has 3 on the year. He's got a sac fly, fielder's choice, and a walk. Well, they don't have a hit, but they have some ribbies.
Right?
Absolutely. Any way to get him in.
No hits between them, but 5 runs batted in now. So here is Tyler Naquin with a runner at first and 2 down, and the Indians up 2-0. This will be interesting to see here. I mean, conditions aren't exactly ideal.
True.
But Greg Allen has really worked and improved on being able to steal bases.
Well, and he doesn't look like he's that quick to home plate. And here's a situation with 2 outs. You know, to go ahead and take a chance. You have a 2-0 lead. But like you say, the conditions are a little iffy. If he can get his lead and he feels comfortable, he'll go, I'm sure. But they will pay attention to him.
Pitches up high, ball one. I mean, the field's in terrific shape. The grounds crew has done a remarkable job. But it's just when it's
the 40 degrees.
This, you just, do your legs feel heavier when it's cold like this?
Well, it's just, it's tough. Like you never feel like you're loose.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is pick a curveball to go on instead of a high fastball.
Naquin socks one high in the air, deep center. Back goes Grichuk, still going back. Makes the over-the-shoulder catch in the middle of the warning track in straightaway center field. 2 for the good guys. 2-0 Cleveland through. Cleveland Indians baseball brought to you by TD Ameritrade. Opening week is presented by TD Ameritrade. The 2019 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. And by your Chevy Network dealers. Visit clickchevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Well, those who have turned out on a chilly night here at Progressive Field have watched the Indians climb to a 2-0 lead. Man, she is bundled up. Fifth inning, Trevor Bauer facing Freddie Galvis. Galvis walked in the third and takes off-speed pitch for strike one. Missed up high, 3-1. And that's ball four. So that's been the only problem for Bauer so far here tonight. It's 4 walks issued by the right-hander. Let's go down to the birthday boy, Andre Knott.
Well, you talk about Trevor Bauer and trust, and you talk about maturity. In his last start against Minnesota, there came a point about the 5th inning where he and Roberto Perez could not get on the same pace of what pitch. And usually he just yells out to him when they get a timeout. And Trevor said to him, "Your call. I'll go off of whatever you throw down there." He says he's never done that in his whole life.
Well, it turned out to be pretty good, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Well, that comes back to the conversation of only 2 curveballs. He said it was the first time he realized he could get through a game without that pitch because it's always been his crutch. But he said the changeup changed things for him that last start.
And he had really good command with that changeup. I was amazed because, I mean, he was keeping it at the knees and below the zone. He really had good control with it.
Alan Hansen showing bunt, pulls it back, and the count evens at 1-1.
Sometimes you have to trust your catchers. They know what they're doing.
You got to trust the when you're part of the team management. You got to trust everyone, right?
Yeah.
Fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And 1-2 pulled to Santana, but it's foul. Hey, got a couple of belated birthdays I want to send out here. First, Bill Lawley celebrated his 90th birthday from Murph's hometown, Louisville, on March 30th. And we also have a happy anniversary wish to William and Dee DeMuzio of Twinsburg, Ohio. That was back on September 3rd of a year ago. The mail gets to us a little slow, so if you have birthday wishes or anniversary wishes, go to foxsportsohio.com/Ohio/birthdays. All the info is right there.
Very good.
You want to get it on the air, that's the best way to get it to us. We appreciate your cards and your letters, but we're not sure what happens to the mail guy between the street and our booth. But
that is a good call.
Hansen, a swing and a miss. And Trevor Bauer has his 5th strikeout of the night.
Here's a good breaking ball right here. You just swing over the top where the bottom just drops out of it. Beautiful. Using that pitch nicely tonight. But commanding the fastball is a little different for him tonight because he has 4 walks.
Yeah, I've never forgotten Glenn Barker telling me years ago, you know, if you given however many starts you make, you're going to have some starts you go out there, you've got grade A stuff you just can carve. And then there's nights where you go out there and you're just kind of in between. You're searching for it. And he said it's those other 10 starts that determine whether you have a good year or a bad year, because he said sometimes you go out there with nothing. Now, it's interesting only in that you just never know as a pitcher from one start to the next what you're going to have until you go out there. I'm sure Corey Kluber, when he went out to the mound yesterday, did not envision that was the kind of day he was going to have.
Right.
But sometimes you go out there and the ball just doesn't go where you want it to go, where you think it's going to go.
Well, yes, everybody thinks because Corey was coming off a start where he didn't do anything but throw strikes. And yesterday he couldn't find the strike zone, and when he did, it was on the plate.
Yeah.
So you just never, and this guy's been as good as anybody in the last 5 years.
Right.
So
and then as
it happens.
But what you're pointing out with Bauer is what made me think of that. Some games you go out there and your curveball's electric.
Use it.
And then there's some games where for whatever reason you don't have that, but maybe
something else
is there.
That's what the pitcher and the catcher has to find out throughout the course of the game. As let's navigate and work your way through this lineup. You know, but you still, even though you're not throwing your fastball for strikes, you still have to throw it to make the hitters, you know, honest and keep them honest.
We had a graphic at the top of the show, and Rick told you in his first start, Trevor Bauer threw 2 curveballs. Now, granted, it was brutal in Minnesota. It was very cold. Yes. It was brittle. He's thrown 17 so far here tonight. So 5 days, well, a week later, different.
And last year, I think it was about, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7% changeups. But it was there were 25 of them last game. Yeah. You know, and that was his new pitch for this year. I mean, you look at here's all the numbers right there: 43 fastballs, 25 changeups. You know, 24 sliders. So those were the 2 main pitches for him, and he just used his fastball around. But I think he threw more strikes with it in his last start than he is tonight.
Still equally as effective.
4 of his 5 strikeouts tonight have come on the hook, the curveball. And he had a lot of those changeups come in his last start, the strikeouts on changeups. Speaking of, that's what's coming right here.
Center field, Martin runs it down. Goes back behind the runner, but Gallus hurried his way back to the bag. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Socrates Brito. I can't remember a baseball player named Socrates.
No, that's got to be the first.
He grew up in the Dominican Republic, and it was his dad who named him after the ancient Greek philosopher. And his middle name is Oral, for Oral Hershiser.
No kidding.
Yeah. Obviously
So a Dodger fan. So he must have grew up in Santo Domingo, the capital, because Licey is the blue team down in the Dominican. And when I played winter ball, Tommy Lasorda and a lot of the Dodgers played on that team. I played, of course, for the other team, Escogido, the red team.
Well, he was born in 1992, so that was before he came to the Indians. So yeah, he was probably Dodger fan.
Oh yeah,
because Oral would have still would have been with the Dodgers, right?
I guarantee it that he had to be a Dodger fan, and he grew up in Santo Domingo, or his dad was.
Yeah.
Arch, I got a question. Did you say you played? I know you're old. You played against Tommy Lasorda?
No. No.
I love it, Andre.
He was the manager.
You didn't say that part.
He was down there as the manager for the blue team in Santo Domingo. Yeah, I played. He's 91 for goodness sakes.
The way you tan, I never know.
Just call me George.
The 0-2 is fouled off by Brito.
That actually is the same Dominican team that Hanley Ramirez and Roberto Perez played on this past winter as well.
It was?
Yes. That's
the blue team?
The blue team in Dominican. Okay. Tommy Lasorda did not manage or play in this similar.
No, I know it. Oh, yeah, he was big down there then. I had Felipe Alou as my manager on the red team.
Oh, what a play by Santana! Snared it. Took extra bases and potentially an RBI away from Socrates. 2-0 Tribe. Now back here at Progressive Field, the youngsters having a good time. Indians on top 2-0, and we go to the bottom of the 5th where Eric Stamets will lead it off.
See, those two young kids, they were warm enough. They don't care. They're out having fun at the ballpark.
And spun him out of the way. Francisco Lindor has been with his teammates throughout this game. Doing rehab work every day.
You know, I know Frankie isn't playing, but when you see him there, I know the first guy, you know what he does during the games when he is playing, he's the first guy to kind of meet everyone at the steps.
Yeah.
He was just like that with Eric Stamets. He's been like that. And I can even say going into the clubhouse today, you knew he was there because music was playing from over in the corner of his locker. And a lot of guys said, even though he's not playing, it means a lot to them just to hear his voice and being around them.
Hey, it's no fun when you're a player and you're not playing. It makes you don't feel like you're part of the team when you can't go out and help contribute. But, you know, just being around, I'm sure helps him in his mind because it's been a while.
Yeah, he's looking over scouting reports, going over different pitches from the hitters when they come off. He cares.
Hot foul. This might be playable. Let's see. No. Well, I think also when you talk about players, whether they're young players, usually it's more of an impact for guys who've had several years in the big leagues. And, you know, Frankie's had a couple of years, obviously. But anytime the game's taken away from you, 2-2 pitch, swung on a miss, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world to have to sit back and you can't do something you love to do. And it almost just kind of makes you appreciate it all that more.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, you get a different look at it that way because sometimes you get wrapped up into it. But when you're an everyday player, man, and you're hurt, it's a bad feeling.
Top of the order, Leonis Martin. He singled his last time up. He was showing bunt, pulled it back, and it was down low. Blue Jays, you see the huge shift on for Leonis. He strokes another single. This one's into right field. And he's 2 for 3 tonight. Well, these are good signs for an offense that has had a tough go of it here in the early going because they're doing this against a very good starting pitcher.
Yeah. These guys, you have to start making some left turns, man, just for your own confidence and getting some base knocks and feeling good about yourself. Ramirez hit the ball hard his last time up, but there was 2 outs. Runners on base. It tipped off the glove of Sanchez, and then it was Galvis that made the play.
So 1 on 1 out for Jose Ramirez, who is 0 for 2. Hit the ball hard his last time up, but he hit it right over the bag at second, and Freddie Galvis was standing there waiting for it.
Unfortunately, that's where guys play them. Yeah. You know. Boy, base hits used to be up the middle plenty long time ago, but not anymore with the shifts. A lot of times if you got it past the pitcher, you were golden. Not anymore.
The 1-1, and that's low. So Ramirez being patient. There's a fly ball to center field, and Grichuk makes the catch. Martin tags and bluffs a move towards second, but he'll hold at first base. 2 away. April in the OHIO continues tomorrow night. Shane Bieber goes up against Trent Thornton of Toronto. Alan Jensen begin our coverage at 6:30 with Indians Live. First pitch at 7 here on Sportstime Ohio. We're streaming live on Fox Sports Go. April in the OHIO, presented by Menards. Bieber will get his first start. He had one appearance out of the bullpen in Minnesota.
I'll bet he's excited. He wants to get rolling.
Yeah.
He was throwing the ball very well this spring, and unfortunately, when you have off days and you start in the cold weather and you're the number 5 starter, you don't. Everything gets pushed around for you. But he'll be ready to roll.
Leones Martin with 2 outs at first base, a short lead, a modest lead. Jake Bauers at the plate. Looks at a pitch up and away, ball 1.
Rick, Matt, you know, Shane told me something interesting today when I talked to him about not starting right now. And he said, well, if we make it to the playoffs, he goes, if we go deep, he goes, I know where my status is. He goes, if everything goes right, I'm going to have to get used to doing that anyway. He just takes the right mindset in any situation that they put in front of him.
Well, and that's what you do when you're young. Hey, he's just thrilled to death to be one of those 5 guys.
He's thrilled to death that there's heat in the dugouts in the big leagues.
Well, everybody is.
Yeah, but
I know. Well, you don't be. I'm surprised I don't see you sitting in there. You're part of the team, aren't you?
No. I got my own ways to stay warm. Don't you? Hey.
What do you got, a sunbed down
The
there?
The 2-0 pitch is low, or no. Just did catch the outside part of the plate. It looked a little low. 2-1 to count for Jake Bauers. Aaron Sanchez, 41 out of 63 pitches have been strikes. And that one was just a little bit low.
Well, when he's missing, it's not by much.
He's not happy, too. He wanted that pitch.
I'll tell you what, he's been around. There's been some high pitches that weren't called, and if you're not going to call the high one, he's saying, I want the low one. See, you're getting some abuse from the dugout now. And then the umpire is going to pay attention to you.
Now the 3-1. There goes Martin, and Bauers fouls it back. See, we get some action here if Bauers can find a hole with Martin running on this 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, the inning continues. 2 on, 2 out. And Carlos Santana coming to the plate. Go back down to Andre.
You guys are talking about hitting the ball back up the middle and taking advantage of it. The last 2.5 weeks in Arizona, Carlos Santana and Ty Van Berkeley, you know what they worked on? Hitting the ball back up the middle, shortening his swing. Yeah. He says he always knew he got off to slow starts in April here, so he wanted to try something different. So you've seen it take off for him so far this year because he's been able to hit the ball back up the middle, something they started about 2.5 weeks ago in Arizona. And just drive it back up where it comes from.
That was always in that swing, and you would say, boy, if Carlos could just shorten that a little bit. And you know what? It's not like he's driving the ball, but once he gets a feel for what he can do with certain things, that'll all come together. But it's always nice to look up and see you're hitting 400.
And I think he realizes that. He says he's not worried about power right now. He knows it comes when it gets a little bit warmer. He didn't want to go up to a slow start. He thinks this is what's helped him.
I also think he loves coming back to Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so happy to be back here. I mean, he was like a kid in a candy store when we saw him in spring training, so that helps as well.
Carlos Santana pops one back out of play. That's upstairs.
You can see, I mean, between first and, you know, even short of second base, 64% of the ground balls he hits right there. That's why all the players are on that side.
And a foul back.
Now this is what I like to see hitters do, and they used to a lot, is when you do get to 2 strikes, that's when you shorten everything up and try and, you know, make something happen, put it in play. Especially with 2 outs, instead of, you know, still taking that big swing where you're trying to hit one out, because on good pitchers they find your holes, but the shorter you can keep it, the better you are. He took a really good healthy swing on that first pitch trying to do some damage, and then after that it's been okay. We'll shorten it back up.
Sam Gaviglio is getting loose in the Toronto bullpen. And Santana with a topper towards Galvis, and he'll flip it to first to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 2 left. 5 complete. 2-0 Cleveland. Now it's time for T-Mobile's connection to the game. Randall Grichuk just signed a 5-year, $52 million contract extension on Tuesday, then proceeded to go out and have himself a day. 3 for 4, a couple of homers. And it's a weird time for Grichuk and the Blue Jays. You know, he signs the big extension, but they're still in the process of retooling the roster. And I mean, consider this, Arch. The Indians and the Blue Jays met in the American League Championship Series in 2016.
Right.
That's 3 years ago. Can you name the only Blue Jay still on the team that was part of that roster in that League Championship Series?
Justin Smoke.
There's only one guy left, and it's Joe Biagini.
Smoke wasn't there then? No kidding.
And Grichuk is retired, 1 down. I mean, one guy, though. That's unbelievable when you talk about that much turnover.
Yeah, it is.
In that short a period of time.
And they had a really good team. I mean, Donaldson and, you know, Encarnacion, Joey
Jose
Bats.
Batista, yeah. Russell Martin was a catcher.
Yeah. Pilar in center field. Yeah, they had. Well, they do have one of the best prospect in the minor leagues waiting to come up, and people can't believe he's still not in the big leagues.
Oh yeah, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
And they have Bichette down there, and those guys will probably see some time coming up this year. And I think it's you know, once they get through where they don't lose a year of eligibility for them.
Now the 0-1. Rowdy Tellez hammers one to right field in. Tyler Naquin hangs on for out number 2.
Well, he's hit the ball the best off of Trevor Bauer tonight.
Mid-game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
Well, Trevor Bauer comes out, and I'll tell you, when he walked bases loaded, he comes back and gets out of it. He's walked 4, he struck out 5, but he got himself into trouble back in that 3rd inning, and he got himself out of trouble, went to the curveball, and you know, he just shows how mature he is. Every start something different, and he never backs down from anything. He's had 9 outs on 3 pitches or less, and he could use some more if he wants to go a little deeper into this ball game. He's at 89 pitches.
Boy, just did shave the outside corner, 1-1. Out of play to the right. he teased him, and you could see how patient Jansen was. He was tempted to go after it, dropped down to a knee, but held on. Now, let's see how patient he is on the 3-2
Yeah,
pitch.
he's going for a punch out here. He's going to go hook, I think. Went heater.
Does that check swing tell you anything as a pitcher when you throw your fastball and he's?
Oh yeah, he wasn't looking for that. I think he was sitting. He's a catcher. I think he was sitting on a breaking ball. And look at, they want to come back again with the heater. They did. He was on that one though. He was ready for it. The first one I think surprised him. The second one he was ready for. Now come back to the breaking ball. It'll be the 8th pitch in this at bat.
Or does he go to his new toy right on right with the changeup?
Hook has been the de jour today, but that's going to be his 5th walk.
French isn't your strong suit, is it?
No, no, that's the special of the day. That's on the menu.
The de jour, huh? I love it.
Is that a mustard?
It is.
That's your guy, Dijon.
The Dijon. Got some great performance.
2 down for Billy McKinney, and he pops one up.
That helps.
Steinmetz calls everybody off. Makes the catch. 6 shutout innings for Trevor Bauer. 2-0. 2-0. The Indians are on top, bottom of the 6th inning. And we'll have Brad Miller, Greg Allen, Roberto Perez coming to the plate.
Oh, he got a batting glove. Nice, a pair of them. Nice job. He's happy.
Yeah.
Put him
on. Well done.
Yeah.
Aaron Sanchez sitting at 70 pitches on the night. Has struck out 4. Given up 2 runs on 5 hits. Both runs for the Indians coming in the 4th when they loaded the bases with nobody out on back-to-back singles and a walk by Brad Miller. Well, Miller took a healthy rip.
Yeah, their run scored on a fielder's choice off the bat of Greg Allen and a sacrifice fly for Perez. But they were at least able to crack through, get on the board.
Low and inside. First of 4 games this weekend between the Indians and the Blue Jays. Miller sends one high in the air, pretty deep to left. Back is McKinney. 1 down. Let's pause right now for a word from TD Ameritrade.
Will the TD Ameritrade trade desk gut check my trade strategy? Should I shave my beard? That's what I thought.
That's going to bring up Greg Allen. Drove in the first run of this game with a ground ball that resulted in an RBI. After that showing the bunt, Drury will stay in on the grass at 3rd. Outside, 2-0. Now Drury trying to decide, do I stay in, do I back up?
I'd play even with the bag.
Foul back 2-1.
Get to a 2-0 count, yeah. Now he's going back a little bit until you get that first strike.
Fastball fouled away, and it's 2-2. Now the 2-2 offering, and that's up high. Full count. Tigers beat the Royals at home today in the Motor City 5-4. We told you yesterday the White Sox already had postponed their home opener against Seattle. Yankees beat the Orioles in Baltimore 8-4. And as Al told us earlier, Oakland dumped Boston 7-3 as the Red Sox dropped to 2-6 on the year. Three balls, two strikes, the count for Allen. And a foul back out of play. Roberto Perez waits on deck. 42 degrees at game time. Wind has died down a little bit from what we had at the outset. And another foul by Greg Allen. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. And strike three called. Well placed inside corner.
Yeah,
that was looking. Coming up later tonight, Cavs take on the Kings out in Sacramento. Cavaliers live with Jeff and Campy at 9:30, and then the tip-off at 10 with Fred, AC, and Angel. All the action on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. 2 away for Roberto Perez, who drove in a run with a sac fly in the 4th inning. That made it 2-0. Fastball in there for a strike. It's 1-1. There's a big hook, and that one's called a strike. Roberto's not so sure he agrees with Manny Gonzalez, but he's now down on the count 1-2. You see all the gear the guys have when it's cold. What'd you have? Long johns, thermal underwear?
Yeah,
was that
that was it. Nothing to cover the head or anything like that. These guys have now is nice. I wish we would have had it.
Something.
Yeah, a little thermal long johns and maybe a little pantyhose underneath those.
I do remember people saying in cold weather, they say you should put pantyhose on, and most guys are like, I'm not.
Yeah, right.
That's you're going to pull out a camera or something, or so. You know, this is going to go horribly wrong. Did you ever try it? Did it work?
Oh yeah, it worked. And usually over in the other old stadium, it used to be so wet and damp because they didn't have the drainage. The field was never like this. You'd put little plastic bags on your feet before your sannies and stuff like that to keep them dry so they wouldn't get so cold.
Sky high pop on the infield. Galvis, the shortstop, makes the catch. The Indians go 1-2-3. How about that? We've had a revelation tonight. Arch and Joe Namath. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyattoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. All right, back here in Cleveland, 2-0 Indians on top as we go to the 7th inning. One little bit of housekeeping before we move on. The stat I was talking about before, Blue Jays turnover since the 2016, it was the guys who played in that last playoff game against the Indians. Okay. Smoke and Stroman were on the team,
right,
but they didn't play in that. So that's
Popper. Did you hear that? Yeah. He's clarifying that for you when you're down in Florida listening to us and critiquing us.
I didn't express that clearly enough.
Well, and he's telling
still a lot of turnover any way you look at it.
He's telling his wife, "See, honey, there was Stroman here." And
I didn't realize Smoke only had one game. He only had one at bat in that LCS. We are in the 7th inning, and the only Blue Jays to reach are via the walk and one-hit batter. Lourdes Gurriel is grounded out, flied out. Brandon Drury, the leadoff man, walked in the 3rd. Danny Jansen, the 5-hitter, walked in the 6th. Billy McKinney, the number 6 hitter, walked in the 2nd. Freddie Galvis has walked twice, and Alan Hansen was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. And that is strikeout number 6 for Trevor Bauer. 1 down here in the 7th inning.
And unfortunately, this is going to be Trevor's last inning, probably, because has 101 pitches on another curveball that he gets him out and gets his 6th strikeout.
For the moment, anyway, the Indians bullpen is quiet.
Bauer is aware of the situation and not happy. When he came off last inning, everyone's congratulating him, and he just stormed off because he says, he goes, I already ruined it. I had a chance, and I ruined it in that inning way back when.
Yeah.
He knows.
Sure he does.
Also, when was the last time you wore pantyhose, Arch? I'm just curious.
Oh, it was back in the 70s, Andre.
Those were different times.
You were a little younger. I was going to tell you about it, but I didn't think you could handle the situation.
I'm just saying, maybe I'll wear something tomorrow or something.
You could.
Andre's just a little too young, because I was a kid when Joe Namath did the TV commercials wearing pantyhose.
Right. See, he doesn't know that, does he?
I've read about it.
Yeah, right. Google it.
He read about it. The 1-1. Fouled back out of play.
But that really worked? That pantyhose really kept you
Well, no, it was okay. It was better than not having anything. I mean, there wasn't much.
Well, as you said, you either had long johns.
Right. You had the
you didn't have like
long
the
johns.
running tights or whatever they,
No, that wasn't around back then.
Bauer 1-2 pitch down in the dirt. Freddie Galvis, he walked in the 3rd to lead off, then walked in the 5th to lead off. The 3rd inning is the one Andre was referring to. He walked Galvis. He had Hansen buried in the count, hit him, and then walked Drury. Bases loaded, nobody out. A little low. And then Bauer punched out Brito, punched out Grichuk, got Tellez to fly out.
Yep.
End the inning, and the Blue Jays, bases loaded, nobody out, did not score. Now the payoff pitch. And that's high, ball 4. He's walked him for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, isn't that something? How one guy can.
And that's going to get the Indians bullpen busy. The phone is ringing.
Well, this series will continue with the Jays through Sunday. Pick up a $15 district ticket or a $10 kids ticket. You can go to Indians.com and get them for the weekend. Oh, and Andre, they didn't have heaters in the dugouts either. And no hand warmers. And if you wanted, Jimmy Warfield used to be our trainer. He used to have the hot water bottles and fill them up with hot water in between innings. That's the only thing you had on the on-deck circle. Do you know what a hot water bottle is? He's not listening to me.
No, I am listening. I heard you. I listen to more than you know I listen.
Yes, you do. No, you ignore me.
I was making fun of you to somebody else, though.
Oh, I know you were in the truck, I'm sure.
The 0-1. And that's up high.
Yeah, birthday boy forgets his wallet at home, so he doesn't have to pay for anything.
You bought that, huh?
Gets in the pool and he gets dinner for free.
Oh, hey, sorry, I forgot my wallet.
Right,
You know, it's my birthday.
Yeah, he's 41. He's starting to forget stuff already.
I didn't think I had to bring my wallet on my birthday. I didn't think it was just free. See? Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. High Cheddar couldn't catch up to it. And now Bauer has him down on the count, 1-2. John Edwards getting loose in the Cleveland bullpen. As Bauer looks into Perez. 111th pitch of the night. Breaking ball hit toward first, but foul. Edwards getting loose. He already has 2 wins as an Indians reliever. And the 1-2 in the dirt. And Perez grabbed it quickly to make sure that Galvis didn't take off.
That ball never seems to get away from him very far from back there. You know, it doesn't matter where that ball hits or where he's going.
He's got tremendous confidence in his hands.
He keeps it, I'll tell you, very close proximity. Some guys have a hard time. He certainly does not.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Blew it by him at 94. That's a 7 strikeouts for Bauer. 2 down in the inning.
Well, he came back with some high cheddar right here. Elevated the fastball, gets it by him after the breaking balls. And this will probably be his last hitter.
He has gone through the lineup 3 times tonight. Brandon Drury will face him for the 4th time. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. And Drury getting after that first pitch, fouling it off.
Yes, he did.
He went too far. In case you're wondering, Bauer last year in his 4th start of the season went 116 pitches, and in his 6th start went a season high 122 pitches.
Is that against Toronto, I wonder? At 122?
Texas.
Okay.
Just missed at the top of the zone. Bauer can't believe it.
Well, I'll tell you, Sanchez had a few of those too, right at the top of the zone. You see, it's right there, and Perez brings it back down. Trevor thought he had one, but the same thing has happened to Sanchez a couple times up in the zone.
He's thrown 74 strikes on the night. He needs 1 more to get out of the inning. Strike 3 called. Trevor Bauer has fanned 8 on the night. He strikes out 3 in the 7th. Stretch time in Cleveland. Bauer refuses to yield to Toronto. Back here at Progressive Field, the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made. And Toronto goes to left-hander Tim Meza.
Coming on for the 4th time this year. 2 1/3 innings, a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. And he'll get Tyler Naquin, Stamets, and then back to the top of the lineup, Martin.
Aaron Sanchez went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. Tyler Naquin had a base hit back in the 3rd inning and flied to deep center to end the 4th.
Yeah, he hit that ball a ton. Now, if the wind's not blowing in, I'll tell you that one might have had a chance. He hit that ball very well.
Meza misses with a fastball, and the count goes to 2-1. 10,375 the attendance here this evening. On a night in which the game time temperature was announced at 42 degrees.
We haven't been much higher than that all year long, have we?
I don't think so.
No, I mean, even if our day game, we may have said it might have been mid-40s, but I'll tell you what, it's...
Naquin shoots one to left, and it's beyond the reach of McKinney. Tyler rolls into second base. He's got a leadoff double.
Yeah, he's had some very good swings tonight. So off the left-hander, he stayed on the baseball and drives it to left field and hit that ball hard. He gets it over the head of McKinney in the left. He got a fastball, and it's right there in the outer part of the plate. Stayed on it. So Tyler with his first double of the year. 2 hits tonight. Now see if they can get him over, get him in.
All right, here you go. Opening day was 49, then 34, 34, 37, 48 on Sunday. But there was a 20-mile-an-hour wind on Sunday.
They say 48. Yeah. That 48 felt like about 28.
Right now, Eric Stamet's trying to move Naquin to third. He'll bunt. He gets it down off the mound. Mesa look to third. He almost threw it away. I tell you what, give Hansen credit just to knock it down, or that would have been down the line, and another run would have been home for Cleveland. So I'm assuming that'll be a sacrifice and an error on the pitcher.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, he got the bunt down beautifully, but watch, does his feet get tangled or what? Left-hander? No, he just, I don't know what happened. I mean, it was a routine play. You take the out. He didn't do anything. It just seems game sped up on him right there. So now it's first and third.
And at top of the order, Leonis Martin, who's had a good night swinging the bat. He's 2 for 3, 2 singles. And both times the ball sharply hit. 3-man shift right side of the infield. Everybody's in at the cut of the grass as that ball is smothered nicely by Jansen. So Naquin talking to Mike Sarbaugh. He's trying to read this off the bat with that infield in.
Well, I'll tell you what, with nobody out, you may want to make the ball go through. Over there, you have Ramirez on deck.
Oh, another good block by Jansen. And Mesa is 3-0 to Martin.
Boy, he has put himself in some trouble here after the leadoff double.
I think they've got a right-hander, Sam Gaviglio, up in the bullpen. Yep, there he is. And you know, whether or not he comes on to face Ramirez, I don't know.
Well, he may, because he got himself into this trouble. He had an out over there at first base and threw it away, and now he's behind the left-handers, and that's what he was in here for, is to get the left-handers out.
Martin takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for the second time tonight for the Indians. And Charlie Montoyo,
boy, what do you do now?
Looks like he's going to stay with the left-hander. Ramirez will bat from the right side. As you said, Rick, it might be a case where, well, you got yourself into this mess, you're going to have to get yourself out of it. Blue Jays again bring the infield in, but it's a shift. So 3 of the infielders are on the left side for Ramirez. And a swing and a miss. That ball was low and out of the zone.
Yeah, that's where you see the Hosie's trying to get going, get his first RBI, maybe a little too aggressive instead of being patient after the walk to the left-hander Martin. Make him get in the strike zone.
And he fouled one off of his leg, and that nearly cost him opening day in Minnesota.
It sure did.
He did that in the exhibition game down in Texas.
And that was off that knee right there, wasn't it?
I think so.
Look at I'm sure. Oh, that was off the top of the foot, not the knee. The other one in the spring training was just below the knee.
But on a frosty night, that one hurts just the same.
Yeah, it does.
Right there off the top of the foot.
And you know what's going to happen. They're going to continue to keep throwing that pitch. And there's just nothing. You have to wait and get some blood back in there and get some feeling to it. Really, there's not much you can do as a trainer.
Don't touch it there.
It's you don't want to talk to anybody. You just need some. You need some time.
Tito obviously knows how valuable Ramirez is, but you couldn't get him out of there with a crowbar. Even though he's buried in the count 0-2. As Rick said, he's smelling his first RBI of the year.
Yeah, he's been a little over aggressive because that pitcher, they have him on the ropes.
Tell you, Jansen's been active behind the plate, and with an 0-2 count, interesting to see if Mesa tries to bury one in the dirt.
Well, you got to. Why not? He sure did go right back to that same pitch. You got to believe you can block it, and plus you had him swinging at the two that were going down and in like that on the first two pitches.
Two 2-0 Indians on top. Blue Jays trying to cut them off here. The 1-2 in the dirt again. And Ramirez is wised up to the ways of Mesa. Here's the interesting pitch, because you probably, if you're Mesa, you don't want to go 3-2 to him.
No, you don't. You want to go in here with something firm, maybe inside on the hands, maybe a good fastball. There.
Down and in, though. It's off the plate. Full count.
Now, can he keep his patience like he did when he was down 0-2?
Indians had a couple of bases loaded walks against the White Sox in their home opener. The 3-2 and out of play to the right. That was the fastball you were talking about.
Yeah,
he ran.
I thought he was going to throw that 2-2 and then come back with that spinner 3-2, but he went the other way. Came in with this the breaking ball and then the fastball 3-2. You have to throw a strike here. Well, you don't have to, but you better.
Now time called by the catcher Jansen. He and Mesa trying to make sure they're on the same wavelength here. Walker, the pitching coach, ripped foul and hit Naquin in foul ground. Ooh.
That's why when you're at third base, you really want to get off that bag. And I mean, it catches Tyler. Look at, he's coming in and he can't get out of the way. It catches him on the right ankle.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Another 3-2 pitch to Ramirez. Right field. Back goes Brito and makes the catch. Tagging at third, coming home to score is Naquin. Everybody else tags and moves up a base as well. Jose Ramirez, his first run batted in on the year, makes it 3-0 Cleveland.
Well, that was a good job and a good at-bat and a recovery for Jose. And he stayed on that baseball and went the other way. And Naquin starting that inning, he'll come back. The Indians still do not have a hit to get a run home. couple of sacrifice flies, but I like the job of the base runners moving up. It takes a double play out of order, and the infield has to remain in. Jake, chance to get some more.
Jake Bauers singled and scored back in the 4th, walked in the 5th. Ripped to right down the line, but he's out in front of it. He came out of the box thinking he had one, but just hooked it. Fastball top of the zone, called a strike. And it's 0-2 on Bauers. StatCast AI powered by AWS for Jake Bauers. And he hits it on the ground. That's why they shift on him. Just missed outside.
He's thrown a lot of pitches, 22 pitches in this inning.
And Bauers got the fastball. It was up and he fights it off. He's thrown more balls than strikes, and that's what got him into this mess.
Yep.
His own error on the bunt attempt by Stamets, and then the walk to Martin. A lot of pitches to Ramirez. But it started with a really good piece of hitting by Tyler Naquin, an opposite field double. Bauers fouls it back.
You know, he's not fooling any of the Indians hitters. They're having, even the left-handers having some pretty good swings on him, and they're taking some really close, you know, tough pitches where a lot of times you'll see guys expand their zone against a left-hander, especially left-handed hitters, but not here, at least not to this point.
Down on strikes. 2 down on the inning. And we'll see if Carlos Santana can deliver the 2-out hit and really give the Indians.
They just end up walking them.
A big lead here. Let's see. Did they already? Yeah, they already signaled the 4 fingers. So
yeah.
Santana will take the base on balls, and that makes all the sense in the world with the left-handed hitting Brad Miller due up here. Obviously, this is a situation where Tito felt like he was going to give Hanley Ramirez the day off, period, because otherwise this might be an opportunity where you'd
It'd be a prime opportunity to put him in, even though they'd go and get the right-hander, but you're right.
Brad Miller 0 for 2, has flied out twice, walked in the 4th. Bases loaded, 2 down. In the dirt, and another good stop by Jansen.
If he's going to throw that breaking ball to left-handers on the first pitch, he better throw it for strikes. But he's bounced a couple of them. I mean, he threw some good pitches to Ramirez to get ahead early, but that's because Jose was swinging everything.
Yeah, that last pitch, though, that we just showed, that's your 2-strike pitch when you're ahead.
Yes, when you're starting a lefty out, you got to throw him. If you're going to throw a breaking ball, throw it for a strike. and get ahead of him and get him to look at it, and then you can expand his zone. And then he may be looking for something again, and you can throw maybe a fastball in. He has a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, now Miller's sitting in the catbird seat, 3-0. He's going to make him throw 3 in a row.
Absolutely.
Oh, we got a little rain falling, don't we?
I don't know.
Super.
We do?
Yeah.
Sure it's rain? Not snow?
Just a few sprinkles. Oh! Just maybe nicked the top of the strike zone, 3-1.
Well, let's take a look, and we will see. It's up, and I'll tell you, we've seen him call balls up there tonight, but that one's called a strike. He wasn't going to give him anything. It's a 3-0. Ring him up.
There's ball 4, 4-0 Cleveland. Brad Miller with the bases loaded walk. And that is going to be it for Tim Mesa. This was an outing that he would just as soon forget about. He came on, faced 7 hitters, walked 3 of them. 2 runs are in. He also had a throwing error. Pretty much a disaster for the left-hander. Now it will be Sam Gaviglio. The Indians began this inning with a 2-0 lead. Then they loaded the bases. Jose Ramirez at the plate, fouls one off of his foot, and he was in a lot of pain. It took him a couple of minutes just to get the feeling back in that foot. And even then, I'm not so sure how great he felt when he got back in the box. But then he worked the count.
I'll tell you, some patience came in after that, didn't they? Because he was looking for one thing. He wanted to go the other way. Tried to foul that one off. That was really a good comeback for Jose.
Just one thing to add to that. The guys have been talking to him throughout this time, throughout the inning. Tito did come down during the break, during the pitching change. Talked to him, and it looks like he may take him out. I think he's fine, but I think with the lead going up, Tito may take him out at the end of the inning because of that.
All right. Thanks, Andre. We'll see what happens, how that transpires. Sam Gaviglio with the bases loaded and 2 down, facing Greg Allen, the 8th man to bat in the inning. John Edwards ready to come on and pitch for Cleveland in the 8th inning. And John Edwards has a tough act to follow in the 8th. Trevor Bauer was overpowering here tonight. His only hiccup, the 6 walks, which just on the surface, if you said Bauer walked 6 tonight, you'd be like, what happened?
Yeah.
But that's not the story. Those 6 walks are a meaningless footnote at this point. He struck out 8. Maybe 1 ball hit hard by the Blue Jays.
Yes. Santana made the great play at first base.
Oh, that one. And then I was thinking about the line drive to right.
Yeah, Rowdy hit 2 balls pretty good. It was Brito that Socrates hit one to Santana at first base. He dives, makes the catch, and hits the bag. And there was a runner on first base, but there was 2 outs. That was the play of the game.
There are the Indians base runners with 2 down. And Greg Allen in the hole 0-2. And a pop-up. Drury straddling the line, makes the catch and foul ground. Indians tack on 2. We go to the 8th. John Edwards takes center stage.
Back here in Cleveland, top of the 8th inning, Indians 4, Blue Jays nothing. Trevor Bauer, an outstanding night tonight, 116 pitches, did not surrender a hit. His night is over. Jensen, if you remember back in 2015 against the Houston Astros, a similar thing happened. He went 6 innings, but his pitch count was high, had a no-hitter, had to exit.
How about this? It was his first start of the season, too, so a little irony here is Trevor Bauer making his 2nd start of the 2019 campaign outstanding job. Will obviously break this one down, but still work to be done here. John Edwards now control the heartbeat, get strike one in there, and really get yourself in some advantage counts moving forward.
Join us after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. The last no-hitter in Cleveland, 1981 against the Blue Jays. Len Barker. They're playing the Blue Jays tonight. Matt, Rick, take it away.
Thank you, Al. John Edwards on to face Socrates Brito, who is 0 for 3 here tonight. And a fastball in there for a strike. Brito grounded out in the first inning, struck out in the third, and then as Rick talked about, he scorched a ball to first base. Santana made a diving stop near the bag.
Yeah, he was on the line.
That ended the inning. Trevor Bauer made 117 pitches on the night. Swung on and missed. It's in the dirt. Edwards strikes him out, 1 down here in the 8th. Here's the right call, presented by TD Ameritrade.
Well, you can see 42 fastballs again. The 24 today was 24 curveballs. Where's the changeups? We got 15 changeups. It's down at in the green. I know that. We want to keep that there. And but 7 swinging strikeouts out of his 8. He had 1 called, 75 strikes.
Randall Grichuk chases after one.
He had 20 swings and misses on the night. And 17-0-2, 1-2 counts. He just threw it. He had that 1 inning where he had over 30 pitches, over 30.
Yeah. And Andre reported earlier, Bauer,
he knew it.
He looked back on it a couple innings later and said, man.
Yeah.
Randall Grichuk has grounded out twice, struck out. And Edwards just missing at the top of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Just missed again at that top of the zone, and that's been a tough place to get strikes called tonight with Manny Gonzalez. And he missed right at that same spot.
There we go. Come back, and there's a 15 changeups, 16 sliders, where he was about 24 of those sliders last time, and 25 changeups. Today it was the curveball that he used to get a lot of his outs that he needed. So he will do anything at any time.
In the dirt.
Did it hit him?
I thought it did, and now
Sure
time is called, and yes, it did hit him. So now Rowdy Tellez is aboard. Boy, this has been a strange game. That is 7 walks, 2 hit batters.
Let's see the back foot. It got him on the back toe.
Well, it just must have just scraped the top of the shoe, huh?
Yeah, right on the toe. Yeah, it didn't get him where it looked like it really hurt him.
Now Carl Willis going to make a stroll to the mound, and the bullpen is going to get busy. Boy, Edwards came out, struck out Brito, but then missed consistently up in the strike zone to Grichuk before he hit Tellez, and now the closer Brad Hand is up.
Matt, Rick, as you guys showed Trevor's how he used his pitches tonight, and you showed how he used them in his first start. What jumps out to me is the lack of the curveball in the first start and how much he used it tonight. But he's only allowed 1 hit now in 2 games.
Yeah, that's right. In 14 innings, absolutely.
He only gave up 1 hit in Minnesota. None tonight. I think that's amazing more than anything else.
Yes, it is. They got 1 run for him in his first start. Today they have 4.
John Edwards takes aim against Danny Jansen now. And he misses down low. We'll see if Edwards can pull himself out of this funk now. 10 pitches, just 4 strikes. Hand heating up in a hurry in the bullpen. That's outside, 2-0. You wonder, in a situation like this, we talk about hitters and bases loaded situations. A pitcher coming into a situation like this, he might be gripping that ball a little tight.
Well, he could be. I mean, he came in settled. Trust your fastball. This guy has a power arm. You got to trust your fastball. After striking out the first hitter, you think he would be all right, and he missed. It was close on a couple of pitches to Grichuk with the walk, and then you end up hitting Tellez. So you got to reel it in now and get a little more aggressive and throw strikes.
The 2-1. Bullseye, 2-2. Perfect pitch on the outside corner. Billy McKinney waiting on deck. As Jansen, the Toronto catcher who's walked once tonight, and struck out, also grounded out, takes a look, and it's just off the outside corner. So a full count. Edwards, who said back in high school he might have pitched at most a half a dozen times, probably less than that. Was a position player to start his big league career, or start his professional baseball career. 3-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Hayes struck him out, 2 down.
Well, he didn't mess around there. Came at him, 92-mile-an-hour heater. Gets his. There it is, right off the dish. Second strikeout of the inning.
Interesting, the Indians' connections to John Edwards in his career. After 6 years in minor league and independent ball, it was Doc Edwards, who was his manager, who traded him to another team in order to give him an opportunity to become a full-time pitcher. Doc Edwards, a former manager of the Indians.
Yes, he was.
And then, of course, it was Cody Allen, who took videos of John Edwards when the two of them were playing catch together. He sent them to Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff and said, hey, you might want to take a look at this guy. Now the 0-1. In the dirt. Nice stop by Roberto. In addition to the long and winding road that Edwards took to get to this moment, he's come back from Tommy John surgery. He's overcome cancer. I mean, you talk about roadblocks.
Yeah.
And he just kept plowing forward. The 1-1. Little low, 2 balls and a strike. Two down here in the 8th. Runners at first and second on a walk and a hit batter. And the 2-1 in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, Gurriel Jr., the on-deck hitter, should McKinney reach here. 3-1 count.
Well, Brad Hand is ready now, I would imagine, in the bullpen. It's up to Edwards on the 3-1 pitch. He walked him, and now the bases are loaded for Toronto for the second time tonight. And it's going to be Brad Hand who comes into a tough spot here, as John Edwards strikes out 2, but walks 2 and hits a batter. And we'll be right back. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. If you joined us late, Trevor Bauer went 7 innings tonight. He walked 6, hit a batter, struck out 7. That was it. John Edwards came on here in the 8th. He struck out 2, but he walked 2 and hit a batter. And so now Brad Hand comes into a bases loaded 2-out situation, and he'll be facing Lourdes Gurriel, who is 0 for 3 on the night. And Hand misses down and in for ball 1. Just caught the inside corner, 1-1. A little low. 2 balls and a strike.
Just trying to keep that ball in on him. Gurriel, a guy that will go the other way. He'll look for something out over the plate. He can shoot you the opposite field.
And the 2-1 pitch. Fouled back, out of play.
Well, he had a fastball to hit there in that 2-1 count and fouled it off.
Bases loaded, 2 out, and the 2-2 pitch. Really took something off, and it's a full count.
Tried to get him to chase that slider down and in. Now something has to give here. No room for anybody. There's the on-deck hitter, Freddie Galvis. And hoping to get out of it right here and keep him off the board.
Everybody moves on the 3-2 pitch. In the air. The shortstop Stamets gives way to Miller, the second baseman. And the Blue Jays leave them loaded. They've stranded 10 men on the night. 4-0. Indians lead it as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Not a big crowd, but those who have showed up are not leaving anytime soon. A chance to witness history here tonight. In the bottom of the 8th, Roberto Perez will lead off. Tyler Naquin and then Eric Stamets. Sam Gaviglio, who got the last out of the 7th, stays on the pitch for Toronto. And ball 1 low and outside. Ground ball hit it up the middle, and it gets by Galvis. And is a leadoff single for Roberto Perez, his first hit on the year. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
That's the second time we've seen a shortstop, instead of diving to stop the ball, kind of go into that knee slide to try to get it and then pop up real quick.
Yes.
What do you think of that move?
Well, with this guy running, when you have Perez running, I say you got to dive and try and get up and go ahead and make the throw. He thought he could get there, and it might have had a little more top spin on it than he thought. It got past him in a hurry.
I know I've seen Lindor do it, but usually he's by the ball when he goes into that slide. If you're not there, that's going to slow you down.
It did. We watched it the other day. Was it yesterday? With the White Sox, a shortstop.
Yeah, it was Rondon, Jose Rondon.
Yes, it was. Tried to do the same thing.
Tyler Naquin. Just take another look at this.
Now, if you can dive, you can catch this ball easily. But when you do it that way, you're sort of trying to slide and maybe do a pop-up slide. You don't get there.
Tyler Naquin, he started the rally in the 7th with a leadoff double. Hit it to deep left over the head of McKinney. And he was thinking bunt. And home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez said he offered at it. And Naquin says, I did not.
Well, with a 4-0 lead here and the way Tyler has swung the bat tonight, I'd rather see him swing the bat and get yourself in a groove. You got a 4-run lead. He didn't offer at it, but still it was called a strike. You know, you're swinging it good, man. Keep that feeling going. You got a 4-run lead here. Try and knock him out of the ballpark.
Now the 0-2. Just missed top of the zone. Chased one. And Naquin strikes out, one away. Let's recap our storylines, brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Trevor Bauer, the fastball changeup combo worked in Minnesota.
Yeah.
A little bit of a different look tonight for Bauer, more breaking balls.
Yeah.
But man, simply unhittable.
Again, a lot of swings and misses. He had, I think, 17 swings and misses, and he got himself into hot water in one inning and got him right back out. And that may have cost him at least one more inning in this ball game, if not.
Eric Stamets pops one up. And the right fielder calls everybody off. Brito makes the catch, 2 down. Leonis Martin has had a really good night offensively. Fly to center to start tonight. Then solid line drive singles in the 3rd and 5th innings. And then he drew a walk in the 7th. So starting to see the ball a little better. Putting good swings on it. Boy, pulled the string on him there. Strike one to Martin. In the 9th, Freddie Galvis, Alan Hansen, Brandon Drury are due up for Toronto against Brad Hand. the dirt. In the dirt, nicely blocked.
Oh boy!
And
Good
Roberto
pitch.
is running, and he is out from you to me. So the inning is over. We'll see if Brad Hand can finish it off when we come back. Well, back in May 15th, 1981.
Coming on, he's there. He catches it. Len Barker has pitched the no-hitter. A perfect game for Len Barker.
Len Barker authored a perfect game for the Cleveland Indians at Old Municipal Stadium on a night in which just over 7,000 people showed up. It was cold, it was damp. Here tonight, it's cold, it's damp, and
very similar.
Just over 10,000 the announced attendance. And now 3 outs away is Brad Hand. Steps in against Freddie Galvis. Galvis has walked all 3 times. That was against Trevor Bauer. Bauer tonight, the Indian starter, went 7, walked 6, hit a batter, struck out 7, 117 pitches thrown by the Tribe right-hander. John Edwards, in 2/3 of a scoreless inning of relief, did walk 2, and he hit a batter and struck out 2. But Brad Hand came on and got the pop-up to end the inning with the bases loaded. Blowing away with a fastball.
I can hear this crowd getting into it now.
The 1-2 pitch. And just missed again outside. 2-2. Fouled back. I think I said Bauer struck out 7 tonight. He fanned 8. And, you know, the interesting thing is that even with the 8 strikeouts, a number of times Blue Jays hitters have taken the fastball away, maybe just a little bit off the plate, but they haven't chased a lot of those.
No, they have not. And this guy, Freddie Galvis, he's been on all 3 times. He walked. So he's trying to get on again.
Now the 2-2. Line, base hit, center field. First hit of the night. And then Trevor Bauer, obviously a little disappointed. So close to being part of a combined no-hitter.
Yeah, would they? A no-hitter's a no-hitter. That would have been nice. Well, these guys were teammates last year, Hand and Galvis. The fastball upstairs, he stayed on it. Takes it the other way, and he knew it as soon as he hit it. Came in with that slider. Look at, they knew it. Just one look.
Pitch outside, ball 1. By the way, officially, the Indians announcing that Jose Ramirez removed for precautionary reasons with a left foot contusion. After he fouled that ball off the top of his left foot. Fouled back our way, and it's 1-1. Now the 1-1 on its way. Brad Hand deals and lines it into left field. A base hit. So back-to-back singles, and the Blue Jays are not done yet. It's 4-run Indians lead.
Well, when you think about it,
they've been flirting with fire throughout the game.
I'm telling you, through 8 innings, they did not have a hit, but they still left 10 runners on base. So the opportunities have always been there. Now they get their first hit leading off the 9th, and they pitch in another one. So there's 2 hits and nobody out, and you go back up to the top of the lineup.
Brandon Drury 0 for 3 with a walk. Drury swings through it, and he's in the hole 0-2. Strike 3 called. That's the 11th strikeout for Indians pitching here tonight.
Well located breaking ball right there. You can see it coming down and in. Had a lot of break to it. Almost looked like it was a curveball more than a slider, because it was only 81 miles per hour, but it got into the zone, down and in. Good pitch, first out on the strikeout. Well, they have gone down 11 times tonight.
One ball, no strikes. Teoscar Hernandez pinch hitting for Socrates Brito here in the ninth. There's a strike called. 1-1. Ball is drilled to deep left field, and in the corner it's a fair ball. Scoring is Galvis. Hansen into third will stop there. It's a pinch hit RBI double for Teoscar Hernandez. And the Blue Jays get on the board here in the ninth. Third hit allowed by Brad Hand. And it's a 4-1 game now.
Yeah, it's a breaking ball, and he stayed on it. He just followed that ball in and was able to keep that ball fair down the line. And they get on the board, and now they have second and third in just 1 out. And they are trying to mount a comeback here in the 9th inning.
Randall Grichuk is the batter, and he is also the tying run.
That's what I was going to say. You know, you give them credit. I mean, they've had base runners all night long, but they, even in the 9th inning when they didn't have a hit, they still bring the tying run to the plate.
Oliver Perez is getting loose. Rowdy Tellez, left-handed hitter, is on deck. Tito obviously went to Brad Hand to try and get the win, but also a chance to preserve the no-hitter. But he's got 3 more games this weekend, and he doesn't want to blow out Hand and not have him available maybe for a day or two.
Correct, 2 days.
Now the 1-2 in the dirt. Nice block by Roberto Perez. You watch this game tonight and the way it played out. As you said, even with all the base runners, Trevor Bauer is able to bob and weave his way through a crazy 3rd inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Left after walking 6 and hitting the batter. Struck out 8. There's strike 3 called, 2 down. Indians then get out of a bases loaded jam again in the 8th inning without allowing a hit. But then the no-hitter broken up here in the 9th, and it reinforces again just how hard it is.
I know.
And how many things have to just
go right.
Line up. The stars have to align.
If it looked like it was that day if it was going to happen, you know, tonight going into the 9th, I figured, yeah, there's a good chance it could very well happen. And what happens? Galvis hits a 2-2 pitch for a base hit.
Rowdy Tellez cuts and misses, but yeah, if you're gonna put your name alongside Addy Joss, Bob Feller, Sonny Siebert, Dennis Eckersley, Dick Bosman, Len Barker, everything's got to go just
indeed.
right. The 0-1. Tellez out in front. Pops it foul, and now the Blue Jays are down to their final strike. Now the 0-2. Struck him out to end the game. Brad Hand shuts it down here in the 9th after the Blue Jays spoil the no-hit bid and ultimately get on the board. But the Indians hang on for a 4-1 win to even their record on the year at 3-3. Toronto is now 3-5 to start the year. Trevor Bauer will be your winner. He's now 1-0. And Brad Hand will notch the save. And the losing pitcher tonight is Aaron Sanchez for Toronto as he goes to 1-1 on the season. Third save now on the year for Brad Hand. So the final score once again, the Indians 4, the Blue Jays 1. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this.